Mache.
Andy Mache and how to say.
Yamiadum. Naswe.
Boko mi wache.
Betwacho. Engasa.
That sound like us.
That's very right. That's very right. Okay. You made a call to the president that he should take creatives with him whenever he is embarking on a foreign tour.
Yeah.
What called for this?
Well, I was on Joy last weekend. We're looking at what we ought to do as a country to change the narrative, to be intentional about projecting our music in Ghana and outside of Ghana as well. It was not, the focus wasn't just on the presidency. You know, we looked at corporate Ghana, as individuals who live both in Ghana and abroad, how we can support our music industry. And then I also looked at the fact that, you know, one of the social elements that brought Nana Akufo-Addo into power was the kind of support he had from the creative industry right from 2007 when, you know, a few people, including myself, were part of an organization called Believe in Ghana. Believe in Ghana was a non-partisan organization that was made up of people like A+, like myself. We brought Wuta, Prior, Kwabena. All these guys were very pivotal in terms of actually starting a nice political campaign in 2007. That is what initiated this political campaign. So if any government in the past has not been very proactive in terms of projecting the creative arts, I think that he should not be one of them, because we know what the creative industry has done for him as an individual in getting him to where he is today, you know. And aside that, we're going back to even when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was in power, we look at the number of creatives who came here. Let's look at the year of return, the number of creatives who have come from out of Ghana. Let's look at when President Bush was in power. We had him coming into town with, was it Jordan Sparks who performed?
Yeah, Jordan Sparks.
Exactly. Not too long ago, we had Kamala. I struggle with that name. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I struggle with that. But it was only maybe I'm free.
For real.
In town, and she had Spike Lee and quite a number of creatives with her. Why do they take these people with them? As a people, you can't sell your country without the creative industry. Ghana's funds from the IMF, which aspect of the economy is paying for it? Is the creative industry. So it means that we ought to be very intentional about supporting the creative industry in this country. And then I also cited the example of the first Global Citizen Concert that I was part of, witnessed in South Africa. And Nana was one of the few presidents on stage, on that platform. Unfortunately, there was not a single Ghanaian musician on that stage. He literally represented every aspect of the Ghanaian society. What they could have done was to be very intentional about having a Ghanaian musician on that platform. They had about 4 Nigerians on stage performing. They had about 3 South Africans. There was Asha, there was Jay-Z, there was Beyonce. There were all these A-list international acts. But Nana was one of 2 or 3 presidents on that platform. Even if we did not have an opportunity to showcase our music on that platform, I think that knowing that it was a creative industry event in South Africa, they could have been intentional about taking some of our musicians. I don't even care if there are people who are NPP sympathizers, because once they make it to the top, there's going to be a trickle-down effect. I mean, whatever's happening to Sarkodie, Stonebwoy, Black Sheriff, I'm sure people are looking at Ghana as a country and also looking at what our creatives, the potential of our creatives, not just those individuals shining out there. You know, so essentially it was for government to be intentional about projecting our musicians. Apart from what the creative space is doing. And we're really struggling, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the creatives are the only people who cannot go anywhere for maybe like a loan to do what they do. You understand? You work at the bank, you work with the Ghana Police Service, you're an immigration person, you're a lawyer, you can go to the bank and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, I want to build a house, I want to acquire a car, I want a loan. As a creative, if you're not able to make that money on your own, you can't go there for a loan. That doesn't happen. So these are like the very basic things that we can do as a country to project the creative space.
But Kofi, come to think of it, for a president who we all thought was going to champion the creative arts, again, had a lot of backing from the creative arts, aren't you disappointed that nothing or very little is coming from his government?
Andy, I had very high hopes of what Nana was going to do for the creative space, because let me also look at him as a person. Right from the 70s, Nana Akufo-Addo has been connected to the music industry in diverse ways. He used to organize events in the UK when he was in school. He's friends with people like Fela and Nicola Pukuti. When Hugh Masekela died, he's one of probably two presidents who was at the funeral. He's had a very great relationship with musicians in this country over the years. I also stated what the music industry did in terms of initiating his campaign in 2007 when in his bid to become president of this republic. He never stopped from there. So for such a person to become president, let's look at some of his team members. My brother Nana Santia Bidietu, who is a musician himself, someone like Yofi Grant, who works with GIPC, an amazing photographer and a creative. I mean, these are just a few people. Many of them have creative backgrounds. So you'd expect that, even if the creative space is not thrived very well over the years, this is a time for us to shine. But it didn't happen. I mean, I would also give him credit for what he's done in terms of the year of return and subsequently having people who are coming to Ghana from different walks of life. Ghana has become like the mecca of fun in December. We could have done more. We could have done more. Maybe then again there was no clear-cut plan as to what exactly to do for the creative industry. When our brother Michael Krekumanti was appointed, one of the things that many people said was, "Oh, this is one of us. He's going to be there." I mean, till date, if you ask me, I've not seen much from him as a person. I mean, in actual fact, he's become very. You can't even access him. You need him to do stuff for you, and you'd have to deal with him like any other person. You're not dealing with him like one of us who's been elevated. I think sometimes people forget why they are where they are. He's forgotten why he was elevated to where he is. It's not because he's Michael Krekumanti. It's because he belongs to the creative space, and we thought, well, to have someone like him there, he would be a mouthpiece for us. But what's the narrative? So for me as a person, I'm totally disappointed in what the government's done so far for the creative industry. They could have been more intentional about how they have projected us.
But before I let you go, about the Global Citizen Festival, where you were a witness or you went to the event in South Africa, and you mentioned that the president was even part of the board or people that sat.
No, he's one of the few presidents that, there were individuals that came to pledge, said whatever on stage, and he was one of them.
Okay, good. Could that not have necessitated the Global Citizen making a turn to Ghana?
That's possible. But that was a great platform. I mean, the kind of reverence the first one had. Come on, Jay-Z was the one that headlined the show with
Beyonce. Right.
They've not been able to project it as big as the first one over the years. It's not been the same. They've been to several countries. Ghana is not the only place. But that was an opportunity. You're on that platform, the first of its kind. Obviously, coming to Ghana, there was no way they would have had it in Ghana without a Ghanaian musician. But even that, let's look at the number of musicians from Ghana who were on that platform.
Okay, Kofi. Well, thank you very much. I hope your request is well heard.
It's going to do much. Nana is in his final days. He's leaving in no time. We're in the send-off moment of his government, so I don't expect much. It's just based on the conversation we're having and what I thought his inputs could have been, in the last 7 years. But between between now and when he checks out, I don't expect.
So does it mean that whatever you are requesting for would yield no results?
Oh, I think it should be more of subsequent governments. I don't think there's any magical thing that's going to happen between now and the end of next year. I mean, he's had 7 years already. That's a long time. I mean, then again, I also know that even a week in power could make a huge difference. But
That's
I'm not
right.
expecting much from them, no. Looking at the economy itself and the different elements of society that ought to be fixed, I think the creative space won't be one of them.
Okay, Kofi.
Andy.
All right. Okay. Right. Martinez, I've welcomed you already. Slim, welcome.
Well, Father, thanks. Issues there. And
okay, since it's Tuesday, we have just 15 minutes. Oh dear. My mention of 4 minutes, we never can argue.
No, whatever KOD just said is exactly what needs to be done. But he also understands that the last part of his submission is the most important part of it. He understands that it's never going to be possible. Looking at the fact that, I mean, there's virtually few more days left for the current government to, whether maintain or submit power to the next government. I don't know. It's sad. When we had the GTA boss in the studio, I think we made mention of, there were so many questions that we posed. And one of the questions that he tried to avoid was, the amphitheater in Kumasi issue, of which, from his demeanor, you could tell that, it was just a straight political stunt or something. And our own Makokre Kumante is the main man behind some of these things. It's quite sad how KOD expresses disappointment in our senior most Mark. And myself, I'm also extremely disappointed because if you're a part of us, to them, the stress that we go through. If you are given the opportunity to, be in power, you should be you should represent us and represent us well. And it's not just me. I know so many creatives out there are highly disappointed in him. Whether he can change, people's perception about him during the last days of the MPP government.
Do you think he can?
It's all about lobbying.
Do you think he can make it happen?
No, it's all about lobbying.
He can recommend DJ Slim,
okay,
or a certain Andy Dusty or Martinez.
President the travel. Okay,
yeah, please take him. Do you think he wields that kind of power?
So it's up to you to come out because maybe that information is too high. Let me just step it down a little bit. It's up to you to come out because if you nominate me like DJ Slim to represent, let's say, DJs on Hitz FM, right? And then I'm in a management meeting and there are issues that I know are bothering the DJs on Hitz FM. I should be able to voice it out at the management level. If for one reason or the other I'm not able to do that, I should come back and explain it to the people why I'm not able to do that. Communication is key in this instance. So if our honorable has issues, and of course I know politics is a very, very, it be broad, and especially in Africa where we know understand them, we start practicing it. There are so many elements in there that I know might hinder, some of the things that he really want to do. But it's up to him to come out, voice it out, because people had high hopes in him. In fact, not just Mark, but in the current MPP administration. People had high hopes, and as it stands now, I don't know about you, but me personally, there, I drop it to the barest minimum. You understand? Fast forward, I want to also talk about one of the things that KOD made mention of, and it's interconnected to the year of return and how it has positioned Ghana on the face of the world. We are now seen as one of the holiday destinations during the festive season, that is not Christmas. And last time, I think when we had the GTA boss, we talked about the revenue part, how it's generating revenue for government and all that. I'm of the belief that they just tried it and it worked.
What?
Tried the year of return marketing strategy and it worked.
You mean they are not sensible enough?
Okay.
Or
So,
they don't know how to plan? Or
Okay.
what are you saying?
now try local.
I don't believe that.
Okay. So now let me explain. Looking at or going through the tourism report, you realize that the foot traction kept increasing from 2018 till date. Now,
I think that was Afeku's time.
Yes, it kept increasing from 2018 till date. Now, I asked the GTA boss that, since some of these things are very, very, there are pull factors to it that are giving you that amount of revenue, you should be able to identify them, either expand them or maintain it so that you don't drop with respect to revenue, right? One of the pull factors, undoubtedly, we all know, has to be the Afro Nation. What is the state of Afro Nation as it stands now? Because the boss, the CEO of GTA was not clear with us on the day.
Not only him, I forgotten the minister also came to confirm.
Yes.
We
had Panji on the phone. I think you had Panji on the phone.
Yes.
I listened to the whole as it stands now. Because for holiday.
And they've announced that they'll be in Nigeria.
Yes.
I think 19th or something like that.
No, I think it's 17th and 18th or something.
Yeah.
Yes, and they've tagged it Home of Afrobeat.
Yeah.
See, holiday, we all know, holiday, rivers and all that. They plan ahead. We say we're fan passport now, no cool. It doesn't happen like that. They plan ahead. So if we had 10,000 people or even 100,000 people coming in and spending, let's say, $2,000 each, the amount of money that they are directly pumping into the economy is that huge. And they plan, just like the same way our godfather, when say be so as it stands now, you plan. You make sure you have a budget, at least for food, for accommodation, transport, these things you have it covered. And that cash that you are taking on, they put for your pocket inside the travel, won't come back to Ghana. It will stay in that country. You understand? So 4 months to December, and we don't have a clear cut. We don't have a clear, line of, action with respect to some of these pull factors that were bringing in a lot of people. Charlie, it be some way, Okay. Second, make a wrap up, Bosu. Talking about taking creatives along on presidential trips, Charlie, it's never going to happen. Looking at the mindset of Ghanaians, Charlie, imagine even composing a song for a political party, how people see you. Let alone being seen. We are not there yet. Government funding artists or creatives, fair enough, I understand. But being seen directly with the presidency, boss, we are not there yet.
That would be team.
We are not there.
That would be termed political.
Extremely political. We are not there yet.
Do you think so?
We are not there yet, Bosu.
That if Nanado is traveling with, let's say, Samini or Black Sheriff, well, winner of the VG, so he goes and introduces winner of the VGMA. I brought to you, ladies and gentlemen.
So they just do song where you say Nanatwa, so that one alone, so if here the Wahala way happen.
I know they say that's different from following.
But that is his. That is, I think he explained it in a couple of interviews, and it was like, Charlie, he get people where they depend on him. He has a lot of people depending on him, and the free education part of the MPP's campaign is something that helped him a lot. So he understands and he feels that, Charlie, it helped me. Maybe it did not help you, but it's a policy that helped me. I can put that in a song. I'm writing a song. But
what has that got to do with?
So it's just a song.
But for me, I feel like
just a
if
song.
Nanado goes on stage, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the VGMA, the current reigning champion, the VGMA Black Sheriff.
Say free honor ba. Na NDC be transfer Black Sheriff onya nyom to, because it's never going to work. It's true. It's Ghana, boss.
Okay, but please come.
It's going to be political colors.
Extremely.
But it's still a good suggestion. That's the way to go. Those with a voice, those with a name, they should speak on some of these things because they will help effect some changes. And so it's good KOD has come out with, such a suggestion. He's not forcing the government. He only suggested to them that creative should be part of the entourage, and it's good because we see how they make good use of creative during campaign seasons. Especially this government had a lot of support from the creatives, Creative Art for Change. And so it wouldn't be wrongly placed if KOD come out with that suggestion and it's looked into. And like you said, I believe Honorable Mark can lead the conversation. Probably they have not thought of that. Or the president has not thought of that. And so if that concern is raised and maybe explained better to him, because it's all about projecting Ghanaian music to the very best.
Martinez, I'm thinking about something here. Sorry to cut you. Don't you think musicians in this country are too petty to the extent that President Eko, and yet Slim no time not doing a no names here or in a way I agree with.
So that's the political angle he's coming from.
No, I'm not. No, you see, even with musicians,
it's too hot.
Nya Martinez no finding it. No names say Mimi or no find no names here or Martinez or Badaben.
It's too
I
get
hot. You
that
get
territory is
in
hot.
this country.
But it still doesn't mean that we shouldn't start something. Because whatever we do, we will have opinions.
I'm sure that view is there, pal.
Oh yeah. Yes. You see,
go do make people. So,
you see, what Slim is saying is very true.
Area too hot.
Definitely,
Too hot.
If they are going to select an artist to be part of the entourage, I don't think it's going to be the president. It will be the team that will look into it, that will make a certain choice. And I'm sure, or we are very sure, it's going to be artists that, in quotes, they think are affiliated to the party. But I believe that it's still Ghanaian artists. Whichever way, there should be a start. It's still Ghanaian artists. Whether Black Sheriff belongs to Goom or belongs to Akufo-Addo.
What is Goom?
Chirabosum. It's still a Ghanaian artist. So I don't talk out. So
it's not easy. It's all about the mindset. I believe we are not there yet.
We have to orient ourselves, and with time we will understand. Jordan Spark coming down with George
was the first time I saw her, like Philly Gadochi when
Why?
Jordan Sparks.
Okay.
That was in fact the only time.
That is it. At least there has been some opportunity for the artists to be recognized. It's also going to open another door market. I believe that even if these diplomats come in to meet our leaders or our president, there should be an opportunity for even our artists to get that kind of performance, like the national anthem. I mean, meeting at the Jubilee House. There should be an opportunity whereby an artist will be invited to entertain them. It's all part of projecting them as well, not only traveling with them. There are artists that will artists that will be willing to do, not even asking money, because that alone is a huge recognition. So, for me, I don't think we should give credence to that kind of conversation because it will kill the merit of it.
Joshua Koziro says, Sandy looking so superb. Thank you. You like blasters, you this girl. Jerry Shave says, good morning. MC Jamaica says, good morning, Andy. I believe the story of this industry will surely change, but not with this government because they keep disappointing us with their empty promises. I love you, Andy. I love you too. Thank you. Hey, Eddie. Okay. Jesse. Gruma. Oh, no. Star Prince says, we are listening. We are Daybreak Hitz, Andy. Kaswa is... They are coming after me here. I've even lost the comment on it. It says, Kaswa is the most expensive place to live in. We need only airport to be a country on its own.
True. I'm even waiting for Kaswa to London. Kaswa is very... British.
Kaswa.
Oh.
No, too soon. Oh, Charlie, who are those sending? Oh. Live News J says, and it was in my experiences. Okay. Oh, Akan has left. Oh. Okay. LDZ says, oh, King Dusty, God bless you loads. I truly appreciate it. I just sent a DM to Pure Akan on Insta. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, George Quay has sent it quite a lengthy, in fact, a very, it's not quite, but it's lengthy. There's this comment. It says, the key function of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture is to promote and develop the country's tourism, arts and culture sector. This includes creating policies, programs, and initiatives that attract tourists and investors, preserve and promote the country's cultural heritage, and support the development of the arts and creative minds. Let's even focus on the part that speaks to attracting tourists. Which country across the West African coast has attracted more in the last half a decade? Much as we may be disappointed with things like the neglect of existing theatre auditoriums and the failure to put up the new ones promised, we should not fail to mention the good works done by the administration. That said, the call to attach brands to the president on his travels is a positive one. Osajifo did it. And if the success of the year of return and beyond the return initiatives is anything to go by, the all governments should know the power of the arts sector in nation building and national growth.
Sajifo did that because at that point people were patriotic. Not today. Not today. Only if you think I'm lying, let's ask this. Let's pose this question: would you die for Ghana assistance now?
Why not?
You would die for Ghana.
Why not?
Now, listeners, this is where we end it.
We are too divided.
Our artists are dying for Ghana.
No, we are too divided.
Our artists are dying for Ghana.
We are too divided.
Which artist will die for Ghana?
I mean, working very hard, projecting Ghana. Is it not
I
dying for?
The kind of death no can want you.
Death is death.
Listeners, this is where we end the show. Many thanks for listening. We will be back same time on Monday for yet another great edition. Yeah, God bless you all. DJ Slip, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for coming, Martinez. Listeners, thank you all very much. A big thank you to Vodafone. Thank you to